What is going on, guys? Now we have the big fight up in the pyramids in the heavyweight division. Usyk defending his title against the GOAT of kickboxing, Rico Verhoeven, who everyone's saying, why is Usyk fighting him? Like, what's the point of this fight? I know Fury and AJ, they fought in Ngannou, but with Usyk, when you beat the bar twice, Fury twice, and AJ twice, you have the right to have an easy fight like this. Now, if you look at Usyk's last few fights, the rematch against the bar, he boxed perfectly. Yes, the bar might land a few good shots on him in the early rounds, but that's what he does. He makes you blow out your gas early. He makes you run down. His pressure, his calculation, his boxing IQ, every slight movement Usyk does is draining the energy out of you mentally and physically, which is why when it got to the 5th, 6th round, the bar was just out of breath. He had no idea. He probably had no idea where he was, if I'm honest. He was just pure exhausted, and you see that go up to him when he had one last go, and then Usyk caught him on the counter. And you see here, just simple shots, the bar backing up, then he fires away, and he tries to turn him, but every shot he threw there missed. And then you see when he's on the front foot, gets countered, and then boom, another left hand on the temple, then he gets dropped, right hand again, boom. So Usyk is a cool, calm, calculated fighter. We know all this. Undefeated, undisputed, cruiserweight and heavyweight. But you see the timing here, when the bar loads up for the counter, then his left hand lands before the bars. That is pure perfection. And then when you see also with his rematch against Fury in the fight before, it was a tougher fight than the first fight. If I'm honest, I did have it a draw, but I'd say you do have to give it to Usyk just for the basis of you're not stealing it off the fighter, you're not stealing the belts of the champion, which is not what Fury did, which I have no argument with Usyk getting the decision, but 160-112 is crazy. But he landed good shots and Fury caught him on the counter. So, and this is a thing which could help Rico Verhoeven, is he also is trained by Peter Fury, and when Peter Fury got along and he was training him, they used to spar a lot. So again, he could get a bit of inside detail from Fury. But I'll be honest, it's not really going to make any difference. Usyk will still wipe the floor with him. But still, you never know in boxing, as Ngannou proved with Tyson. But you'll see here with Rico Verhoeven, we'll break down a few of his kickboxing bouts. You know, we're trying to ignore the kicks, but when you look at his striking, how everything's thrown 100%. He doesn't throw like little flicky jabs. It's just all 100% power. Even his jab, when he throws his feint, it's like he's throwing an actual punch. Everything's all 100 miles an hour at full pelt. But you'll see there, because he's a kickboxer, their stance, because they're usually prepared for kicks, knees, elbows and all that, they're a lot more square on, similar to Muay Thai. So he will be a lot more square on, a lot more you see fighters who are kickboxers, who make the transfer, and you see a lot of them are very square on, like Tenshin, or even Jarrell Miller. He's another one who came from the kickboxing scene, transferred to boxing. He had a bit of success, but with Jarrell Miller, one thing I'd say he does well is he does wear fighters down. He does break them down, which again, Rico in the kickboxing world, he does that. But when you limit him, when you get rid of his elbows, kicks, knees, what does he possess? What does he have in his arsenal? Which is a big question, which is why I do believe, if I'm completely honest, Usyk will absolutely wipe the floor with him. This won't be a Fury and Ngannou where it's close. This will be more similar to an AJ and Ngannou. But when I say AJ and Ngannou, I don't mean wiping the floor with him within the first few, because Usyk, he's not a big knockout puncher. Yes, he has had a few knockouts, especially against the bar in the rematch, but that's from wearing him down. And we all know, any little bit of pressure, any bit of front forward aggression towards the bar, he'll probably just take a knee. So it's not really anything spectacular. So all in all, I do believe Usyk will obviously win, but I don't believe it'll be a big one punch knockout like some people for some reason think he will. Like, Usyk is now this one punch knockout merchant, which besides the bar, I think the last person he stopped was Chaz Witherspoon, who is, I don't even know what he's up to these days, but he was a 40-year-old heavyweight then, probably 50 now these days. So again, that's all you really need to know. Of course, don't get me wrong, he does hit hard, but if he lands the right shot in the right place, Usyk will go down like any other heavyweight in the world. But will it happen? Nah. Now with Usyk, the keys is quite simple. You got to stay in range and pivot round. Every time you stay in range with him, he's just going to fire away, because he's going to think, this is my chance. So utilize that to just pivot round, make him miss, and just wear down his energy and just drain him mentally and physically like he does with all his opponents. Lead hook and straight left all night long. Again, that's key as a southpaw, especially against someone, a lot taller and bigger than you, which worked against Fury when he had Fury all over the ropes like Bambi in the 9th round, and then let Rico punch himself out. Pretty self-explanatory. Now with Rico, body head all night long, because Usyk, as good as he is, we know he's weak to the body. We know in the first fight against Dubois, that was a clear body shot. Joshua hurt Usyk to the body in the rematch, and in many other fights as well. Gassiev as well, we've seen Usyk hurt to the body, so that could be the big impact. But you got to tighten them wide hooks, because if you just throw them wide hooks like you do in kickboxing, Usyk's punches will land 2 or 3 times before your punch even lands yourself. And I'll be honest, just use your lead left foot to land, because especially against a southpaw like Usyk, if you use your lead left foot to creep slightly, don't make it too obvious, because obviously Usyk is a crafty veteran. He's the best in the world, pound for pound #1. He knows all the tricks under his sleeve, under your sleeve as well. But if you use that left foot to go in and out and just step forward to land shots of your own, if I'm completely honest, that will go in your favour, because he is someone that, with that Eastern European style, he does have his hands up, and he might let you land a few shots, land a few of his own, because he does take 3-4 shots to warm up. So you got to take big advantage of them first few rounds, especially against someone like Usyk. Now, as I've previously stated, I don't think it's going to be a one-punch job. I don't think if he does stop him, it'll be late on. So this is why I'm going to do over 4.5 rounds in the fight. So it's got to go to at least a 5th round, which I think is an absolute banker, because Usyk's not an early knockout man. Rico, I understand, because it's his best chance of winning is catching him early, but will it happen? The likelihood is probably 1 in 100, So if I'm completely honest, I think this is an absolute banker in my eyes. Over 4.5 to go to at least a 5th, because if Usyk does stop him, it'll probably be between 7 to 12. And I was surprised as well, Usyk on points. That's not a bad shout, because it was like 3-1 or 10-3, which could easily happen. It could be an easy 120-108 job all round. But again, Usyk, we don't know if he's going to come out all guns blazing, or just come out and just hit a power like he usually does. But I do believe it won't be an early night in the office, and I do believe that it will go at least to the 5th, which is why I believe this will be an absolute banker.